This little game won the first game jam that I entered, and honestly, I still have no idea how. Back in 2024, I'd never finished a game before. I'd bounced between multiple game engines, copied code I barely understood, and followed enough tutorials to convince myself I was learning something. If you've ever copied a tutorial exactly and somehow ended up with a completely different result, you'll understand where I was at. With no real goals, no completed projects, and realistically zero experience, I made the incredible sensible decision to join CGA Jam 2024, a game jam I'd never entered before, using tools I barely understood under a deadline. What could possibly go wrong? Yet somehow, this tiny game about an astronaut trying to get back home managed to take first place. So let's talk about how that happened. For anyone who doesn't know, a game jam is basically a challenge where developers have a limited amount of time to make a game. At the time, I'd been flailing my way through game development for a little while, mostly by following tutorials, breaking things, fixing things, then breaking them in entirely new and exciting ways. This particular jam was a little different. There wasn't a specific theme, instead there was a strict limitation. Your game had to look like it could be run on an IBM PC equipped with a color graphics adapter, or CGA. Now, these machines are from the 1980s, which means they're not only older than me, they're older than... yeah. The jam organizers provided a list of screen resolutions and color palettes we had to work within. And when I say color palettes, I mean color palette, because some of these options looked like they were generated by somebody who had a personal grudge against color. So after staring at a blank screen for long enough to qualify as a hobby, I eventually landed on a simple idea: an astronaut stranded on an alien planet trying to get home. Reasonable enough, or at least that's what I thought. If you've ever made a game before, you'll know that everything takes longer than expected. If you've never made a game before, you don't know that yet. And unfortunately, neither did I. Making a player controller was easy. Godot practically gives you one for free. Making a player controller that didn't feel like a shopping trolley with one wheel that wanted to act like Crash Bandicoot? Slightly harder. The movement was awkward, the jetpack was awkward. Honestly, the entire game felt really awkward. And that was only the beginning. Then came enemy design, then level design, then bug fixing, then fixing the bugs caused by fixing the previous bugs, then fixing those bugs. I also had absolutely no frame of reference for how much content I needed. I'd never designed levels before, I'd never balanced difficulty before, I'd never even made a game that was complete before. I genuinely had no idea if what I was making was terrible. There were multiple points where I even convinced myself I just wasn't going to finish, which was concerning because the entire objective of the game jam was technically to finish, just like your mum. Eventually, I changed my approach a little bit. Instead of trying to build levels immediately, I focused on creating all the pieces first. The player, the enemies, the platforms, the obstacles, the weird jetpack movement, everything. Once I had those systems working, I could basically treat them like Lego pieces. I could throw them into a level, move things around, test ideas, and slowly build up difficulty. And surprisingly, it started working. The levels became more interesting, the controls felt better, the enemies actually behaved themselves, mostly. And the game started looking less like a collection of random colourful junk and more like an actual game. I even put a Weezer reference in the game's menu music. I thought it was funny. If you ever find a suspicious reference in one of my games, this is where that problem started. But the weirdest thing that happened wasn't the Weezer reference. It was that I stopped worrying. I stopped thinking about winning. I stopped thinking about the deadline. And for the first time, I actually started enjoying making a game. I wasn't copying code from a tutorial anymore. I wasn't constantly trying to understand what every single button in Godot did. I felt like I was actually building something. And before I knew it, the game was technically complete. Once I submitted the game, I was genuinely happy. Not because I thought I would win. I absolutely did not think I would win. I was happy because I'd actually finished something. When I started, there was just absolutely nothing there. Just an empty Godot project and barely an idea. Somewhere along the way, that turned into this real game. And for a first game jam, that already felt like a win. Once voting opened, I started checking out the other entries. I played other people's games, hung around in the Discord, left and received comments, and very quickly realized I had absolutely no chance because these other entries were genuinely impressive. I thought my little astronaut hero, I mean, can you even call this guy a hero? I guess not, he's just trying to leave. I thought my little astronaut guy who was leaving stood no chance, but I'd enjoyed the experience. I'd finished a game and that was enough. So I stopped thinking about it and waited for the results. Then the results came out. Somehow, by what I can only assume is a clerical error, I had won. Now, technically, the title is a little bit clickbait. I didn't win every category. I placed first in the overall and gameplay categories. I came 7th in sound and 9th in graphics, which honestly felt more than fair. Nobody was entering this thing saying, wait until you hear the audio design in Orbit. But somehow I ended up at the top of the leaderboard. I genuinely had to double check I was reading it correctly because I'd gone into the game thinking I'd probably just abandon another project and move on. Instead, I'd finished a game, I met a bunch of people and somehow ended up winning my first ever game jam. Looking back now, Orbit is very rough. There are 100 things I'd do differently, probably more. But I'm glad I made it when I did, because finishing that tiny game led me to more game jams, more projects, more mistakes, and eventually 2 years later making this video. If you're thinking about joining a game jam, do it. You will make mistakes, you'll probably run out of time, and you'll definitely have moments where you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. But that's not always a bad thing, because looking back, I don't think I won because I knew what I was doing. I won because for the first time, I'd actually just finished something.